So our next couple of talks are going to be with our in-kind sponsors. These are all companies that have offered support to all of our GoAERO teams. They're offering tools, resources to the teams to be able to utilize. So the first speaker that we have in that vein is Abhishek Shankar, who is with MathWorks. And GoAERO teams will receive free access to industry-leading computational and simulation tools that are essential for modern aerospace design and development. MATLAB and Simulink are used by engineers and scientists worldwide. And we're really pleased that GoAERO teams will receive free access to MATLAB and Simulink, comprehensive getting started resources, technical support, and educational materials. So I'm really pleased to introduce Abhishek, who's going to give us some more information on that.
Thank you for that introduction, and thank you all for coming for this summit. I'm Abhishek Shankar. I'm a robotics engineer with the MathWorks. If you don't know MathWorks, we are the makers of MATLAB and Simulink. And actually, before I start, I wanted to touch upon something that Tom just mentioned. He said the emergency services has an important aspect, which is the promise they make that they'll be there when you call them. If you think about it, that's really important because that's what gives us freedom to do what we want to do, right? From like driving to like something that I love, like climbing and hiking. You don't do that if you know that if something goes wrong, you can count on them to come and help you out. So again, this competition is fantastic because it gives you an opportunity to make an impact on the society, and we are honored to be sponsors of this competition. And today, this is my agenda for my presentation. I'm going to talk about how MATLAB and Simulink can fit into your UAV design concepts and how customers in the industry use our tools for their design. And I'll talk about how you guys can get started with these tools and also some of the opportunities that are there at the MathWorks for college grads and young professionals. So if you look at this slide, I know there's a lot going on there, but if you just focus on the left part of it, MATLAB and Simulink can help you start with the basics, which is modeling and UAV. So we are strong proponents of model-based design, which basically means you model your system before you go ahead and develop it. So modeling can mean a mathematical model or a combination of mathematical and hardware models, as in you get the parameters from the hardware by collecting data and then developing a model out of it. So with our tools, you can design your model for the UAV, whether it's a fixed-wing aircraft, whether it's a multi-rotor aircraft, or a combination of both, like a vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. And we also provide you tools to design perception and control algorithms. If you have already used MATLAB in your universities or at your work, you know that MATLAB and Simulink are pretty popular when it comes to control, state estimation, and basically anything that has to do with a lot of matrix math. So we excel in these areas, and we provide plenty of tools and toolboxes to do perception, control, planning, and decision making. And once you have your model and your algorithm designed, the next step is to verify it. And the simplest way to verify it is in simulation. And we offer 3 different types of simulation. The first one is cuboid based, which is low fidelity. You just model obstacles as cuboids and you place it around your UAV, and then you check how your designed algorithm works, whether it's able to sense these obstacles and whether it can navigate around them. And we also provide interface with third-party simulators like Gazebo, which is an open source simulator that goes well with ROS. We have a ROS toolbox that helps you connect to these simulators, subscribe to the topics, and publish topics for the system. And finally, we have Simulink 3D animation, which uses the Unreal Engine in the backend. This is something that MathWorks recently did, I would say maybe in the last 3 years. We are using Unreal Engine to develop photorealistic simulation, which can be super useful if you're collecting data for your perception system, or even if you're doing a prototype to show to a potential customer. Once you have verified these in simulation, you can then go to hardware deployment, and we make that easy by giving you coder tools which will translate your Simulink or MATLAB code directly to C or C++ to put it on your embedded board, like a Jetson or a PX4. So this is done by some of our toolboxes like MATLAB Coder, Simulink Coder, or Embedded Coder. Again, these are all free for all the competitors in this competition. And you can, I'll talk about how you can get started with these in the next few slides. And the last part is how once you have modeled your system, designed your algorithms, and deployed it to your UAV, how do you connect and then ensure that whatever you developed is performing as you expect? So we have like communication protocols enabled that lets you connect to your UAV, whether it's through TCP, IP, Mavlink, or any of the other communication protocols you use, and then collect data directly from the drone for you to analyze and ensure that things work as they should. We all know simulation and real life are not the same. There are going to be some differences. Hopefully, with model-based design and the tools we provide, this gap is a little smaller for you to cross, and it's easier to go from prototyping to deployment. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about some of our customer story. So this one is by Supernal, which is a California-based company that is planning on developing a robot taxi to transport 3 to 4 people over a short distance of around 60 miles. And they have an electrical vertical takeoff and landing system that can go at a speed of around 120 miles per hour. I could be wrong on that, but there is a link that you can visit to the Supernal page that explains more details on what they're trying to develop. But what they did was they used MATLAB and Simulink to develop a photorealistic simulation of their system. Again, they used model-based design principles to model their system in high fidelity. So they were able to model their rotors, their aircraft. If you see, they have 8 rotors in their aircraft, and these rotors pivot when they're going up. So for vertical takeoff, they face up, and then when they're moving forward or backward, they pivot front so that that motion is enabled. So Supernal emphasized a lot on pilot view and battery health monitor. So because this was super important for them, especially when they're doing multiple rounds of taking passengers and dropping them off somewhere else, they need to be constant supervision of the battery management system. And they were able to model that in Simulink and Simscape Electrical and use that to validate their design. And they also use Google Tiles and Cesium to create this photorealistic simulation you see here. Oh. Right, that's supposed to be a video. But, right, that's supposed to be a video of the UAV flying from one place to another. But they were able to do that by using Google Tiles and Cesium, which integrates easily into Simulink 3D animation. So they were. This is a scene this is a location from Los Angeles, and they made a mock flight plan from point A to point B, which they were able to validate with our tools. The next customer story is more relevant to what you guys are competing for. It's based on this company called Avilus, which is a Germany-based startup. It was born out of Technical University of Munich, and they used. Wait, before I go into that, their idea is to develop an emergency response vehicle that can get to passengers in remote locations. So they used model-based design principles to design, simulate, and also test the UAV. The picture here is it's a rendering by the team. It's not real. They're getting into the hardware stage right now. But what they did was they modeled all the UAV dynamics and the electrical architecture. So they were able to get characteristics of the propellers and use it in their model so that they get a really close model of their actual system. And they were able to deploy their control algorithm as C code using our Simulink coder, and they were also able to do model in the loop simulation, which basically reduce the time it takes for them to do real hardware testing. So they only had to put in 5 to 10% more to go from model in the loop to real hardware tests. So those are the two customer stories that are relevant to this competition that I thought I would highlight. Again, there are a lot of customers using our tools, especially in the aerospace industry. And in this next slide, I'll talk about how you can get started with this. And once again, we are honored to sponsor this competition. We provide free complimentary licenses to every member in each team. So how you would do that is just you can click on the link here, or you could go to you could just Google GoAERO and MATLAB, and the first link would be a license request page. So you just fill in a couple of your details, what team you're in, and I think you need to put your team lead's name, which is whom the license would be allocated to, and then the leader can allocate it to each member in your team. And the next step is once you have our software, you can ramp up on our tools from a variety of resources that we have on our webpage. It starts from webinars that we do almost every month, to videos that we have on our website, to blogs, to a documentation, and also code snippets from our GitHub. And finally, you can also contact us at roboticsarena@mathworks.com. Robotics Arena is the student competition team, which includes myself as well as several UAV and robotics experts who would be happy to get on a call with you and help you out if there's any issue you're having while using our tools to design your solve your problem. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are available almost throughout the week, and we get back to you within a day. So, and we'd be happy to even schedule a call if you feel like that is more easier to explain than an email. And finally, I want to touch on some of the opportunities at MathWorks. I know a lot of you are like bright graduates, and we would love to get you guys interested in our company. We have something called the Engineering Development Group, which is a rotational program that we offer for new grads. You get to work in different teams. So if you're someone who's, say, interested in controls, you could choose like 4 different teams that are doing various kinds of control, optimals control or nonlinear control, and you could rotate between these teams and then choose which one you want to work full-time for. And we also have the ambassador program. So if you're still a student and you're looking for some part-time work and want to be involved in the tech space, you can look into the ambassador program, which would give you, which is only like 5 to 10 hours a week, so it's not too strenuous. It pays decently. At least it pays better than what I did at university. And you also get a hang of what MATLAB can do, and you also get access to all the MATLAB swag. That's all I have for today. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them. Yeah.
So just to understand, this in-kind sponsorship for each team member, do we have to, like, let's say my team signed up and we got a complimentary license.
Yeah.
Do we have to work with a concierge through your firm, or it's just a license and we just go?
Yeah, it is just a license. You're free to use it however you want. Yeah, we give you all the products. There are about 130 products that come with it, so we give you access to all of them. And it's up to you to decide how you want to use it, where you want to use it.
And that's for the duration of the competition?
Yeah, till 2027. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Any other questions?
I would say really take advantage of this resource. Abhishek did not really tell you the caliber of companies that work with them. Supernal is one of the leading companies in advanced air mobility right now. It is run by Jaewon Shin, who is at NASA for 30 years and is the head of the Homeland Military. So it is an incredibly well-advanced company in the space that we're working in, as is Avalos, what they're doing out of Simulink is phenomenal. We saw them at the Friedrichshafen.
Thank you for that. And yeah, we all offer support all the way, and we love student teams who are competing. And as I said, this is a competition that has the potential to make a huge impact in the society. So we'd be happy to help you out with anything you have problems with. But again, if you don't have any questions now and you want to ask questions later, you can always contact us at roboticsarena@mathworks.com. Thank you.